Hello, welcome, and thank you for tuning into Channel Voices, the podcast for future channel leaders, where we learn the ins and outs of partner ecosystems through casual conversations with channel professionals from a variety of industries, partner types, and geographies. My name is Maciek, and I'm your host. Hello, and welcome to Channel Voices. A little bit of a different intro today, as I just wanted to take this opportunity and wish you personally all the best for 2022. Happy New Year. I do hope that you did get a chance to spend the holiday time with your family and your loved ones. There are also a couple of updates that I wanted to share with you as we kick off the new year. And one of those is that as of December 2021, Channel Voices is 1 year old. In addition to that, Channel Voices is now being sponsored. We do have a sponsor for the podcast, and our sponsor is Channel Mechanics. Channel Mechanics is a PRM platform that world's leading vendors use to ensure ease of doing business for their partners and for their channel teams. It helps vendors drive competitive advantage, accelerate revenue, and build partner loyalty. And obviously, no better way to introduce Channel Mechanics than inviting their CEO, Kenneth Fox.
Thanks very much, Maciek. Thanks for having me. Nice to have the opportunity.
Thanks for coming on. There's been a lot of podcasts that I have done with quite a lot of people, and we did talk about the how do companies and teams go about evaluating PRMs and how difficult it is for them to find maybe the one that does everything. But obviously you lead Channel Mechanics business, and one of the questions that keeps popping up when I speak to prospects or to customers is they would like to know what are the most common scenarios, I suppose, or business challenges that you solve for the vendors and for their channel partners.
Yeah, it's a great question, Maciek, and a very broad question. I suppose it depends on the customer or the vendor. We work with lots and lots of vendors globally, and that varies greatly from people with thousands or even tens of thousands of partners, right through to people starting their channel journey with maybe less than 100 partners. So their challenges are clearly very different. So in terms of a comprehensive channel automation platform, that covers everything from starting off with your partner portal, which is, I suppose, your shop window for your partners, and first impressions matter. So the better job you do on your partner portal, the better chance you have of engaging with those partners. And I suppose the central theme I would bring through to, regardless of whether it's 1,000 partners or 100 partners, is you must make it easy for those partners to engage with you, to work with you, and also help your channel account managers or enable your channel account managers do a better job with the partners. So it's all about, automating the different, everything from the portal to your content to your deal registration. And as you scale up things like rebates and MDF, having all of those programs, having them automated, and I suppose making it very easy for your partners to see what programs they're eligible for and how to participate in those programs, including what benefits do they get from those programs. From a front-end perspective, having all of that in place is really important for your channel community. And then more inward-facing, I suppose, is, okay, how do you help your account managers do a better job for those partners across all of those programs? It's having all of that automated workflow, managing your budgets, managing your discounts. How then do you differentiate your partner base? So things like, where we see complexities have come in over the years is in the area of, say, a partner leveling or a partner tiering. So having all of that automated really does make a difference for you as a company, because that takes a huge amount of work away, and it allows your channel team focus on sales rather than being very operational or doing the grunt work, as we say. So having a system that can automate all of those moving parts really enables you to have a proper go-to-market strategy that's sales focused rather than operational focused.
Excellent. One of the first episodes that I've done and was discussion with Jay McBain, and he was talking about how the role of a channel manager or someone who runs channel within the company has changed, right? It's no longer about just maintaining relationships and being with the partner and educating them, but people become more of, the roles become more of an analyst type, where that data, all of that data provided through a PRM, all that reporting kind of helps steer the business. So it's no longer just being on the phone or with the partner and helping them just close the one deal. It's kind of, it brings it holistically, and you look at your channel a little bit with a better data insights, right? So you can make those quick decisions.
Yeah, I suppose, data is king. It's, how do you collect that data? How do you use that data? How do you mine that data to get the nuggets out of it? From our point of view, again, working with many, many vendors, one of the things we always make sure to do is we capture every single data point, from everything from who's logging on, what piece of content are they looking at, which deals are they registering, who are those end customers, are they participating in MDF, and so on. So, first thing is you have to capture the data. A lot of people make the mistake is they're not capturing the data. So I'd say, point number one is make sure you're capturing the data right from the start of your channel journey. Because once you capture the data, there are some, super tools out there now to start reporting on that data and giving those insights that you mentioned and that Jay would have alluded to. From our perspective, we use Power BI as part of our platform, and it's one of the best visualization tools I've seen in the market. And that does everything from the low level stuff to looking at an individual program to then rolling up the various programs to take that holistic view, as you mentioned there at the start of that question. And then what do you do with that holistic view? What are the kind of pointers or what direction can it steer you in across your entire channel, across a certain segment of your partners? Because when you start to drill into the data and you start to segment, okay, I'm doing really well in this particular product line or in this particular geo segment. It's all about, then how do you analyze that differentiation, if you like, and then how do you develop your sales strategy to meet that particular need and so on. So using, capturing the data, using the data, reporting on the data, and then making the best of that data to drive sales is really the key to it.
Great. And staying with the automation theme, I suppose, are there any trends that you see in respect to channel automation today?
Yeah, I think the biggest trend, I suppose, is magic. You can't live without automation anymore. If we go back kind of, maybe even 3 or 5 years, I would have seen there was only a certain number of reseller types and distributors in the market. That's got a lot more complex. We could say almost we've gone from 3 to 5 to anywhere from 12 to 15 at this stage. So if you think about those different types, now you have your influence, your referral type partners, your MSPs, etc. We didn't have those years ago. We had your VARs, your distributors, your direct marketing, resellers, and so on. So the channel has got more complex. There's a lot more products. The transition to cloud that every company is trying to do. All of these things have made the channel much more complex and driving the need for automation. So partner programs in general, as a result, have become more complicated. And Excel just doesn't cut it anymore. It's not able to handle all of those moving parts to run your program on a spreadsheet and emails anymore. And then you overlay on top of that the need for security. Security has become more and more important in all of our lives, in everything that we do online. So that's why things like emails and spreadsheets simply don't cut it anymore. You've got to have a secure environment to work on and engage with your partners, both front end and back end, from the partner facing element that they know their data is secure, from your internal point of view that your team, your channel team are working in a secure way with your partner base. But if, you boil that down to something like, say, take partner leveling or partner tiering, as we call it, having the tools or the automation in place to automate across maybe anywhere between, as I said, 10 and 15 partner types with different rules. And those rules could vary by revenue, by certifications, by geos, by number of deal registrations, by opportunities closed, by webinars attended. So the list goes on and on and on. So again, that's why, automation has become a must, and it's become more and more complex, and it continues to get more and more complex.
Yeah, measuring partners seems to be a challenge for a lot of vendors without automated systems in place. Like you said, managing a channel ecosystem with 100 plus partners on the spreadsheet, that's pretty time consuming and not always accurate. And it doesn't give you that holistic view kind of day to day where you could just jump in and see how your channel in a given territory or a country or on a given product is even doing, right? So it provides you with all that data in real time. And I was talking to Maeve O'Connell in one of the episodes when it came to, how difficult and what challenges do companies have when they choose the PRM for them. But once a PRM is chosen, what makes a partner portal deployment successful, or the PRM deployment?
Yeah, I think, and that is a really important point or question, Magic, because if you can't get your partners to come to the portal, then, you can't get them to engage in the programs that underlie the portal, everything from your content to your deal registration. So I think, again, it comes back to one of my original points around, being easy to do business with. So your portal should be your shop window or your front door for your partners. It's like, anything now in the world of SaaS, driving customer or partner adoption is really, really important. So, when we deploy a portal with our customers, we work with them, right through to running webinars with the partners. It's all about getting partner adoption or partner traction. And again, it becomes a habitual thing with partners. Once they know where to go, once they know the value of your partner portal, and that might be, how am I going to help them with their sales journey? Because ultimately it comes down to, what revenue can a partner make from you versus your competition? And keeping in mind that most partners will work with between 7 and 12 vendors. So, it's a common mistake I think vendors make or our customers make, is they think those partners are solely working with them. That's never or rarely the case. So, if you make your partner portal stand out, you make it very easy to access, and, having things like single sign-on, that they only have to have one username and password, that everything then when they do get to the portal is at their fingertips. Don't overwhelm them with information. Don't try to have it too complex. Do simple things like tell them when they log on, hey, your account manager is Joe Blogs or whatever it might be. Here's what, we're doing next week or next month. Make it very easy, to see how to navigate through the portal, whether that's getting a piece of content, registering a deal, claiming their MDF funds, whatever it might be. And again, the last, I suppose, point I'll make on it is, don't show them what they're not supposed to see. Okay, so that's just as important as showing them what they're supposed to see, because again, you can overwhelm them, and that frustrates partners and say, okay, if it's a partner that doesn't get MDF, don't even show MDF on the portal in the first instance. Rather than show them MDF, they click and they say, oh, you're not allowed to see it. So that just, little things like that makes the partner engagement all the better.
And that's something where the partner leveling would maybe come in as well, because certain partners are eligible to participate in a certain program, whereas others are not. And having that holistic view and being able to control that through that dashboard, if you wish, of every single partner, you could pretty much automate that as well.
Well, that's a great point, Magic. And that's where automation truly kicks in, and the use of automation to drive those entitlements. So where, like in the case of Channel Mechanics, it's a very comprehensive platform. It takes care of all of those kinds of things, starting with your partner leveling, and then that drives the eligibility or the entitlements that a partner sees. So if we say, you're a gold partner, you get access to everything, straight away the system knows you're gold because it calculated you as gold. So it shows you your MDF, it shows you your rebates, whatever else you're entitled to see, versus if you're an unregistered partner, then it's just going to show you the bare minimum. So again, it's kind of, automation is self-fulfilling. It takes care of ease of doing business by having it in place, and it just, makes that partner's life's journey a lot easier, which in turn makes the selling motion easier for both you and the partner. But it also puts that data at the fingertips of your account managers, because there is a huge demand on account managers, and selling is, I suppose, their number one priority at the end of the day, rather than trying to figure out what tier a partner is on. So when you give, your account manager that information at their fingertips, they become much more focused on sales than they do on operational activities, which helps you internally and your partner externally.
And Kenneth, there's obviously Channel Mechanics has such a wide offering when it comes to automation of certain programs or initiatives for the vendors to work with their partners. But in 2021, Channel Mechanics introduced what you call Channel Starter Pack. Could you tell us a little bit more about this and who is it for?
Yeah, no, I sure will, Magic. Yeah. So we introduced a starter pack because we saw a need from a lot of prospective customers we were working with, that there a lot more companies with the advent of SaaS and the monthly recurring revenue model, a lot more manufacturers, suppliers, whatever you want to call them, are going straight to the channel rather than being a direct sales companies. They're going straight to the channel to leverage a lot of these new partner types that exist as their go-to-market model, if you like. As a result, they need some way to engage with those partners. And just trying to get off the ground, basically, you need a partner portal, you need a content management system, and you need deal registration. So we obviously have all of those, and we package them up into what we call a starter pack for these types of customers. And it's worked really well. We have many, many vendors now, starting their channel journey using that starter pack, and it's been really successful for them. So it's something that gets them going. And as I always say to these prospects when they're starting off, look, okay, sure, you could try and manage it on a spreadsheet and emails. It's not the right thing to do. And I know it sounds like, of course, I'm going to say that because I'm trying to sell it. But even if I wasn't, and I often say to them, look, if it's not Channel Mechanics and you go with somebody else, that's fine. But you must future-proof your channel, because once the channel takes off, it's a very powerful thing. And you'll find very quickly within a year or two, the channel has taken you over, and you no longer have time to put the right infrastructure, put the fundamentals in place. So you end up firefighting or drinking from the hose, as they say. So that's why it's important to start the way you mean to go on, build a proper infrastructure. It's a secure way to do things from the get-go. And then as your channel grows, and hopefully, we've seen some of these guys convert from starter pack to start scaling up their channel. And the beauty of it is they can simply turn on more modules now as they go. So if they say, hey, now I've been in the channel for a year, 18 months, things are moving really well for me. I now want to start to differentiate my partner base. I do want to create a top tier of partners, and I want to give them extra funds. I want to give them MDF, or I want to give them rebates. So now they have the infrastructure in place. So instead of going back to zero and spending another year trying to figure it out, they simply keep moving forward. They turn on these additional modules, and they really please their partners, and they get all the benefits of the data they had collected about that partner, which feeds into, who are my best partners, who do I need to nurture some more, etc. So that's why the starter pack, I think, has been so successful for us. But it's also, more importantly than us, it's been really successful for our customers.
Fantastic. And obviously with programs like, or say the modules that Channel Mechanics have when it comes to content management, there's vendors are still sending out collateral to their partners via an email, or put it somewhere in a secure location and Dropbox or whatever it may be. But you don't have a view of, are the partners using it? It's hard to get feedback from them because they're obviously busy. But with a platform like yours, it's easy for the vendor or the marketing team to see what type of content is being consumed, who is consuming it, and maybe that would lead to producing content that would be more appealing in the future, based on that data that they gather, right?
No, absolutely, Magic. And people put a lot of work into content, whether it's product collateral, whether it's marketing, whether it's lead generation, whatever it might be that you're trying to help your partners and ultimately, again, grow sales or grow revenue for both you and your partners. So having that in a centralized, CMS or content management system that records who looked at it, which piece of content did they download, how many times did they look at it, etc., how many times did they use it, is, very important information. So if I load maybe a new product sheet or my latest price book or a marketing campaign template for my partners, I want to know which of the partners are using that, but I also want to know which of the partners aren't using it, and then the account managers can do a better job. They can go after the guys that didn't use it and help the guys that did use it. So having all of that information to hand, again, creates that, part of that overall channel ecosystem, both internally and externally. and helps you drive, better content to feed back to your marketing team or your channel marketing team to say, look, this has worked really well. We need more of this. And it could be, it's surprising how it works. So content that might work well in one country or one region or one segment of your partners might not work well for others. So it ultimately comes down to help you differentiate your partner base and create relevant content for the particular partner groups or segments that you do end up creating. And that then in turn helps you decide, which partners are your top partners over time. How do you nurture them some more? And again, back to, at the end of the day, everybody wants to drive revenue. And that's one of the great ways to start out that.
Thank you. Before I ask the last question, I just wanted to follow up on the theme of automation. And obviously automation works when it's integrated with other systems. What does Channel Mechanics solution integrate with?
Yeah, so we're a very open system, Magic. So we work with many vendors. I suppose Salesforce will be the most common solution we integrate with. We see ourselves as extremely complementary to Salesforce. Most of our customers will be on Salesforce before we come along, and we generally just plug into Salesforce very easily. Everything from running the partner programs to integrating to their opportunity management system and creating opportunities on that directly from the front end, if you like. So if I'm a vendor, I'm already on Salesforce, and I now want to start or do a better job on my partner enablement platform. You plug Channel Mechanics in at the front end and you do something like deal registration. It allows you really move cleanliness to the front end. It allows you segregate your deal registration from your opportunity management system. And all of that is taken care of. All of the workflow, all of the approvals are taken care of by the Channel Mechanics system. And only an approved deal will land on your Salesforce system and become an opportunity, which in turn is reflected back out to the partner. So you can see the value of, that really makes the partner journey a lot easier. They can submit their deal reg. They can see the status of their opportunity 24/7, which takes overhead away from your account team and so on. And the journey goes on like that. We integrate with many, many systems. Microsoft is another one. We do a lot of work with, say, Microsoft Dynamics, and so on. So, the list goes on. We've developed a platform to be very open. We have a whole suite of, APIs that, you can integrate both front end and back end, single sign on with everything from, SAML to Okta, etc. So all of those. And again, it's all about creating a very seamless journey for both the partners and the internal users to use the platform.
Thank you. That definitely helps the listeners to understand a little bit more about how the Channel Mechanics platform works. There's a question I ask everyone, and there'll be no exception here. So what's the one thing you wish you knew before starting your career in Channel?
I'm not sure. Great question. Very broad. I suppose before I started my life in the channel, and that's been a long time ago now, but I didn't realize how powerful the channel was. I wished I did know some more about it before I started, but I guess that's part of the learning curve. Like, the channel is a wonderful thing, I always say to people, and people, a lot of people are starting their life in the channel. It's really is a massively powerful sales machine once you crank it up in the right way. And I'm always trying to convince people to do that in the right way. And I think that's really important. They're the learnings. I didn't know how to do it in the beginning. I learned a lot of it through trial and error, mistakes, learning from, not doing it the right way, I suppose. But, trying to give those learnings to our customers, to anybody new that's coming along to the channel. I really enjoy that because the channel is the most powerful sales engine there is in the world. When we think about 75% of all trade in the world goes through the channel, just kind of get your head around that. Trillions and trillions of dollars flow through the channel every year. So it's not a mistake that all of these vendors are, really using the channel as their go-to-market model right from the get-go. They're not even starting with direct sales now. We see a lot of them are going straight to the channel. And I can fully understand why, because of the returns it can potentially bring when it's done in the right way. Fantastic.
And also, before we close off, thank you to to you and to Channel Mechanics for sponsoring Channel Voices going forward. We're very, very happy and delighted with the sponsorship. Thank you for supporting us, and hope to have you again on another podcast in the future. So Kenneth, thank you very much for coming on as a guest. Thank you for telling us what Channel Mechanics do and how you do things. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Oh, thanks, Maciek, and congratulations on a great initiative. I love listening to them, and you've got some wonderful speakers on. So keep it going.
Thank you very much.
And that's a wrap for this episode. I do hope you found it valuable, and if you did, please make sure to subscribe and leave a review. You can also follow Channel Voices Podcast on LinkedIn, Twitter and Facebook, or just visit channelvoices.com where you can send me a message or leave a voicemail. All of the links are listed in the show notes, and once again, I appreciate you tuning in today. Until next time.